AI is bad. But why is AI bad? As we all see today, it's in the news, it's in any form of media that we consume. Friends and family circles, heck, your grandma's probably even talking about it. And we know that AI inherently isn't bad. It's powering tools every day to create more innovation and value and changing the way that we work and consume information and knowledge around us. However, many people that don't quite have that perspective aren't really celebrating. Surveys show more people are concerned than excited about AI. So, in today's video, I want to dive into why people think AI is bad, break down those top reasons, and share my personal perspectives from working with customers every single day on how AI inherently is not bad. Hey everyone, my name is Nick Harris, and I'm a Senior Copilot Cloud Solution Architect with Microsoft. Welcome to the Microsoft 365 Copilot Connection, where we provide you the latest updates, details, tips, tricks, all the greatest information in relation to Microsoft 365 Copilot, and now, of course, AI overall. So in today's video, we're going to navigate through some of the reasons why people believe AI is bad. I continue to see so many posts out there on social media being discussed within, friends and family circles where people just don't like AI. But I've never really understood why they don't like AI, whether that be usage scenarios or just overall perspective based on the type of content they're consuming, like news media outlets, for example. And so we're going to navigate through those reasons and we'll figure out why people believe this. And I'll give you my personal perspective on, as someone who's worked with AI over the last 2 years, why AI is actually very helpful and what it can do for human society overall and where I see us going into the future. So, starting off, the number one reason that I've been able to identify is truly misinformation and deepfakes. And this is troubling for human society, considering the fact that most people aren't really educated enough to understand how misinformation can be provided by an AI experience. AI truly has made creating fake content easier than ever. Deepfakes are realistic, but are now being used in scams and politics and disinformation campaigns. For example, an AI generated robocall mimicking President Biden's voice a few years ago targeted voters in New Hampshire, raising fears about election integrity. These tools can be weaponized for reputational harm or fraud, and the cost of producing convincing fake media has dropped dramatically, making it so much easier and accessible for bad actors. This erodes the trust in digital content and creates a liar's dividend, where even real evidence can be dismissed as fake. And organizations and governments are scrambling to implement detection tools and watermarking, but the technology is evolving so much faster than the safeguards can keep up with. And I attribute this to the invention of fire. If we think about fire itself, going way back in our history in human society, it has its goods and it has its bads. If we didn't have fire, we would not have made it to the point where we are today. But also, fire can cause a lot of harm. And so we need to take on a very moral and ethical perspective of how we use AI. Our intention should be for the good of human society. And that's one of the reasons why I really enjoy leveraging tools from Microsoft. We inherently implement responsible AI controls to where inappropriate or unethical content cannot be included within our AI, or it cannot respond when it comes to inappropriate forms of topics, like if you wanted to know how to create a bomb, for example. We don't allow that. It's not possible. Now, from the flip side, I do see a lot of people believing Copilot itself, because of that responsible AI and content safety, as being too limited. But that's a fine line to walk, right? There is a lot of gray area there as well on our own unique perspectives and what each and every one of you believe is ethical or unethical. So for now, there are limits within our tools, specifically from Microsoft. And of course, that will most likely change as we continue forward and we see new innovations and updates. However, I will always take the tool that has responsible approaches built in over those that could cause more harm to human society overall. Now, what about privacy and legal liability? When AI systems interact with customers, who truly is responsible for mistakes that are made? A landmark case involving Air Canada answered that the company was held liable for incorrect information provided by its direct chatbot. This sets a precedent. Businesses can't hide behind the AI did it standard. Privacy concerns also loom large. AI systems often process sensitive data, and if governance isn't airtight, that data could be exposed or misused. Customers worry about compliance with regulations like GDPR and the EU AI Act, and the fear is that a single misstep could lead to lawsuits, fines, and reputational damage. And this is why legal and compliance teams are deeply involved in AI rollouts. And this is something that I see every single day. When I'm working with any new customer as a Copilot cloud solution architect, I always identify the highest priority items that that customer has as possible risks or blockers. And in the over 100 customers I've worked with so far, the number one priority has always been security and compliance. Ensuring that these solutions are safe and secure and the data that they have access to is in a secure manner and the company's governance standards applies to that data is of critical importance. So within our Copilot ecosystem, we have tools like Microsoft Purview, and that directly allows us to apply security and compliance based policies like retention policies or sensitivity labels to ensure that only the correct content and materials can be accessed by the AI assistant. We only maintain conversations with the AI for particular periods of time, and any conversations that might be more inappropriate in nature or might be trying to access specific forms of information that the individual user shouldn't are tracked and identified. Now, of course, this is more from the administrative perspective, but there's still also the perspective for each and every one of you, the end users, business users, IT administrators of supporting systems, as you use AI in your work. You need to be in control of the data that you use. Always evaluate every single output that the AI gives you. It will make mistakes. It does happen. It's human, just like us. We make mistakes and we fail all the time. So you need to evaluate and ensure that the data that you're leveraging is cited, is pulled from credible sources, and once evaluated with possibly other subject matter experts in your environment, can then be leveraged for working purposes. Now, a prominent reason why people believe AI is bad, especially today, is the environmental impact. AI isn't just a digital problem, it's a physical problem as well. I'm sure a lot of you have seen your energy bill go up, and I do see many news outlets indicating that many of the reasons why is because of AI. The International Energy Agency projects that data center electricity demand could double by the year 2030, with AI as the main driver. This does raise concerns about carbon emissions, water usage for cooling, and strain on power grids. Sustainability teams are now asking tough questions. How green is your AI? Cloud providers are responding with efficiency improvements, renewable energy commitments, and innovations like liquid cooling. But the environmental footprint remains a major talking point. Now, this one really hits home for me. I'm an avid gardener. I'm in my backyard all the time. I have tons of fruit trees, berry bushes. I plant new plants every single year corn, squash, tomatoes. I try to live as sustainably as possible. And one of the reasons why is because my core mission as a person is to benefit my planet over time. If I can make small contributions, to benefit the larger whole by living a more sustainable lifestyle. That brings me positivity and happiness. And this has been a conflicting point of concern for me. I love artificial intelligence. It has created so much value in my lifestyle. But there is that moral side where I know that there is a polluting standpoint. I think it's important to note that the cost of using AI is significant. And understanding this, my hope and expectation is AI becomes more efficient over time and can reduce those costs by creating more innovation in our infrastructure, which thus should also assist us in generating new innovative technologies to generate clean energy that it can then leverage and consume, whether that be solar or we even hear of fusion energy today. And finally, the biggest reason at the back of our minds overall is job displacement. The World Economic Forum predicts that 92 million jobs could be displaced by 2030 due to AI and automation, even as 170 million new roles are created. So, the challenge? Those new roles often require different skills, and workers feel being left behind, and that fear is amplified by headlines about AI replacing entire professions. While many experts argue AI will augment rather than replace humans, the transition period is going to be painful. Companies that fail to invest in reskilling risk not only workforce disruption, but also reputational backlash. And this is why change management and training are critical in any AI adoption strategy. I've met with many people over the last 2 years, assisting them with deploying Copilot experiences. And this is the number one ask that I receive all the time. Where do I see AI going? And am I going to even have a job in the next few years? And I feel it too. In today's standard, AI is really just a tool to augment the type of work that I perform. But in this last 2 years alone, I've seen how it's grown. I've seen the new innovation that's been introduced, and it's automated even more of my process. My expectation is it will eventually get to the point where it automates most of my job. Now, when that will be, who knows? It could be a few years, a few months, a few days, I don't even know. Eventually, with the thought process of AI becoming more human like, with human level intelligence, but also then being able to think and reason much faster than we can, it may eventually be that the jobs we hold today are completely different as compared to tomorrow. The purpose of AI, in my opinion, is to automate that work that we as individuals don't really care about, and allowing us to focus more on those societal standards to benefit human society overall. I look at it like this from my own personal standpoint. If I could focus on gardening and giving back to my community more, that's what I would truly love to do. I would like to do that on a grander scale. But one of the issues, of course, is I have to work a full time job. So I don't have as much time to invest within those personal hobbies, but it may be one day that I do that as a full time job. And that is something that I would truly love, knowing that I'm making other people happy. I'm growing sustainable food for people around me to then use and leverage. And finally, even if our jobs are displaced, we have to start thinking, what are those new jobs going to be? And what impact are they going to have on our personal lives, on our family, our friends, and us ourselves to live in a sustainable manner? This is the period of the unknown, and I can't say what direction it's going to go, but in my opinion, there is a need for government and regulation, policies that will impact the public to benefit all of us, not just the few. So many people believe that AI is bad, and it's understandable. However, it's not something that's going to fully impact our lives in a negative aspect, at least at this current point in time. There will be a lot of change as human society continues to evolve, as we partner with these AI assistants, and as they learn and grow and become smarter as well. Now, as you can see, I'm a glass half full kind of guy, so I like to think of these experiences in a more positive light. And of course, I'm biased in a way. I know this because I work at Microsoft. So I really want your true, open, and honest opinions. Let's have an open dialogue and conversation, and let's identify, those unique perspectives of why you might think AI is bad, but also why you might think AI is good. So that's it for me for today, everyone. Thank you all so much for your time. We'll see you in the next one. Have a good one, everybody.